We're back, guys.
Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Salma and Annelise is joining me again today. Because we love Annelise, right?
Absolutely.
Our Joe Dispenza adventure continues. We're leaving off where we left the retreat. We ended up going to Playa del Carmen, which was 20 minutes away for a few days. And it rained the whole time. And we kept getting these synchronicities to go to Mexico City. We thought we were gonna be in Tulum or something, laying on a beach.
In the sun, drinking cocktails, just like soaking up. No.
Yeah, no, it was like rain. So we decided, okay, let's go to Mexico City. Let's, check it out. Not knowing anything about Mexico City, we just go. We both have never been there. On day 2, we're going on a stroll, and Annelise points to the statue. It's like in the middle of the road, and
the Angel of Independence is what we found out later it was, but it was this huge, beautiful angel that was statuesque above, in the middle of this roundabout.
So yeah, we found out it was the Angel of Independence, and I look at it, and I was just like mind blown, because while I was at the Joe Dispenza retreat, sometimes during the meditations, you have visions and you see things. And I feel like some of them, like I knew meant things, and some of them, I was just like, oh, I'm just watching TV, my pineal gland is activated, I'm seeing stuff. And I saw this angel, but I was just looking at it, I knew it was an angel. It had like cloth around it, but it wasn't a statue, like it was like the angel as it would look in real life. And it was like floating. Yeah, it was floating in the blackness, and it was just moving and spinning, and I was just watching it. And I was like, oh, this is nice. In my head, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but cool. So we're walking down the street. She points out this angel, and I'm like, oh my God, Annelise, like I saw that during my meditations. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, I guess we're supposed to be here for some reason. And I have no idea why. So she's like, oh, let's go walk, closer to it.
Let's go see it.
Yeah, let's go see what it's about. So we walk closer, and then we're like, oh, we're kind of hungry. And we end up at this like cute little Italian restaurant. And I already am like very aware of signs and synchronicities, and I pay attention to what's going on around me at all times. I feel that the universe, the divine, is always speaking to you in little ways, like you could be sitting next to somebody and they can be talking about something, and it can bring an idea to you just because you eavesdropped and heard a certain sentence. So during the retreat, Annelise had just gotten confirmation that like, hey, I'm a healer. Like I have healing abilities. And she's shocked, and she's trying to come to acceptance that, okay, this is what I'm here to do. This is what, part of my life purpose. So we're sitting at this Italian restaurant, everybody's speaking Spanish. Annelise knows a little Spanish. I literally know no Spanish at all. I know, it's ridiculous.
Nada.
And there's these friends on the right of us, and we just hear Reiki master. And I have had experiences with Reiki, but Annelise
never.
Yeah, Annelise has never experienced any sort of healing like that. So in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe this is a sign. Like maybe we're supposed to go to a Reiki healing out here. And she's just like, rolling her eyes.
Really? Is that what you want to do?
She's like, I'm open to it. Like,
again, crawling back into my hole of reality. I don't want to go there, but a part of me felt like, yes, you should do this. It's time to open up to that. It's just at the same time, I can be hesitant. I can be like, well, what's gonna be there? What's gonna happen? How is it gonna, is this gonna be like somebody waving flowers in my face or feathers? Or, like you just have these notions in your head versus going and experiencing it. So I was trying to get past those notions and open to the experience.
She's just watched too many movies.
I watch a lot of movies.
She's like, some wizard is gonna come and wave his wand at me, and
they're gonna blow some smoke in my face, and I'm gonna like go into some other dimension.
Yeah. So her imagination was just running wild, and I'm like, I think this is a sign that we're supposed to go get a Reiki healing. You know, what are the odds that these people are sitting next to us? And, you know, for some reason, we just kind of heard them say Reiki healing. I'm like, I don't know what this all is. We followed the angel that I saw from my vision, ended up at a restaurant right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
She finds out she's supposed to be a healer, but has never experienced any type of like healing from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So we hear this, and I'm all about like, I will follow the signs. I will go forever. She's more like, let me see about this.
Yeah.
But at least she was open, and she was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, Salma's taking us on a wild goose chase, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be open.
I'm not gonna lie, like I had my hesitations, but at the same time, I was open, because if it would have been up to me, I'm like, let's go to a museum, let's go do something like, you know, that I already know, you know, versus let's go on a scavenger hunt, which is what we were doing. And I was like, I don't know where this is gonna lead. I don't know what's gonna happen. And, you know, Salma's like, got her map, got her, you know, she's ready. And I'm just like, okay, let's go.
I was literally like, we're on National Treasure right now.
You said that.
I'm Nicolas Cage. I'm like, the wind is blowing left and the statue was looking right.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. The painting. Look at the painting over there. Its eyes. Its eyes are cross-eyed. That means we need to stay on the middle path. And yeah, like literally crazy. So we leave the restaurant, and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna find this Reiki master that we're supposed to go to? And like, my first clue is the angel. Second clue is the person at the restaurant. So then we get even closer to the statue.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, it's facing this way. So I'm like, okay, let's just walk this way. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So we start walking, and I guess we were just kind of looking around to see if there was like maybe some sort of store that had crystals or something to where we could walk in and ask somebody like, hey, do you know any healers? Do you know any Reiki masters in the area?
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't happen.
No, we went to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And we started to like Google or look for Reiki in the area, and you ended up finding that street with all the bizarre, like, you know, good, bad, and ugly and evil on that one street.
Yeah. So we were kind of looking around, and then we find this coffee shop like Annelise was saying, and then I'm like, okay, let's just get on Google and type in Reiki and see what we can find. And for some reason, like nothing was popping up. All I found was an article on Vice about like some street out there where you can get anything, crystals, voodoo, exorcisms, all tarot readings, astrology. And I was like, oh, this might be cool, but also at the same time,
I was like,
somebody's gonna put a curse on me.
I'm not that open.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go there. I said, I feel like if I walk through there, something's gonna like snatch in my body. Someone's really like, it's legit gonna be all hell is gonna break loose.
Yeah, we were, I mean, it was like, ooh, that would be an adventure, but probably not the wisest adventure because, I mean, I believe in those things, but you know, there's good and bad forces, and people don't always use things in the right way.
It just felt too much of every and anything would be in one space, and it wasn't like you were going somewhere protected and safe and, you know, someone where they're open to your light. It just felt like, come on in, kiddies. Like,
let me take your soul.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we're not going there. And then I started getting like a little discouraged. I'm like, I don't know. And I literally look out of the coffee shop. There's a police car parked. And on the police car, written is Angel, Angel. And I go, Annelise, like, what are the odds of that? I look over at the police car, I point to it, I'm like, that says Angel. And I was like, I don't know how. I'm like, this means something. I don't know what, and I don't know how I'm gonna translate this. I'm like, let's go, it's time to leave. So we walk down the street, further down, there's something shiny catches my eye. So I'm like, let's go into that store.
And I'm like, I don't think anything's gonna be in there.
Yeah, she's like, there's nothing in there. I'm like, and I'm like, no. I'm like, no, they're gonna know Reiki healer in here for some reason. She's like, no, they're gonna know. So I walk in there. I'm like, hi, do you speak English? Do you know Reiki? I'm Reiki master. And the guy brings this like younger guy who speaks English, and he like immediately pulls out his phone and gives me the details and everything about this guy. And then Annelise goes, oh look, they're selling a statue of the Angel of Independence right here at this store. So we were just like, oh my God, okay, that's the confirmation. Like,
yeah. Which I'm sure is like what they sell regularly, but this one was like huge in there, like hovering over the top of everything. You know, like you turn around and it's like, oh, like, hey. So yeah.
So this was like literally so divinely guided. It's like, I have this vision of the angel. We see the angel. We go to the restaurant. These people talking about Reiki master. Then I'm like, okay, Annelise is supposed to be a healer. She needs to have a healing experience. We follow the angel. We go to this coffee shop trying to find a healer. Can't find a healer. The cop car says angel. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. Walk down the road. Something shiny catches my eye. We walk into the store. The guy knows a Reiki healer. She's like, oh, look, the angel's in here. And then as soon as the guy gave me the information, I sent an email to the Reiki master seeing if he had any appointments available. And as soon as I sent the email, I felt this sensation through my whole body. It was like mission accomplished. And I felt relieved, and I literally turned to her and I was
she's like, do you feel like it's done? I was like, I don't know, is it? She's like, it feels like it's done. She's like, I feel like we did what we need to do. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, all right, what do you want to do now?
She's like, what's our next adventure? Let me avoid what's happening because I'm scared.
Yeah, so what do you want to do now? But she was like, no, it's done for now. We're just gonna wait and see. I was like, okay, all right, let's, all right.
And then we did something more comfortable for her. We got some tea and some pastries.
Yes, we did. We went to this awesome cute little coffee shop, you know, but it was just following that intuitive knowing. And I think that she is on that level of energy for that. And although I'm open to it, I can like say, oh, I'd rather go do something else. This seems silly. This seems like, you know, whatever, but it's actually what you're supposed to do. It's how you know, the divine in you and all around guides you. It's like, hey, I'm putting this here. Follow what I'm telling you. Follow what I'm saying. You asked for this, so here it is. And I read something before that it's like, at first it's really light, like it's really small. And the more that you don't listen, it's gonna end up beating you over your head. Like, you know, certain people get in car crashes or things like this because they're not paying attention to what they should be doing. So she's listening to the small, suggestive signs versus someone like me. It's like, I'm 2 seconds away from it beating me over my head to say, hey, we're here, versus they'll wisp something across her and she's like, they said go that way. You know, she's very much more in tuned. And, you know, of course, there's levels of like,
it takes practice.
Yeah, it does. But I think like it is just a following of that intuitive, you know, those signs and allowing it to guide you.
So pretty much we ended up a couple days later, he responds because it was the weekend and we had an appointment. He seemed like a super nice guy. And right before we head down to him, we're at Starbucks having just like breakfast. And I've actually never experienced this before. My eyes were open and I was literally like looking at the people eating in front of me. I had my food in front of me. And even though I was like seeing this world, my eyes weren't closed. I had a flash of this. It was like a vision on top of what you see with your eyes open. I saw this silver Buddha, and she actually saw me see it, but she looked at my face and she's like, what's happening?
What happened?
Because I looked so like confused, you know? Yeah. And I was looking around and blinking, and I'm like, how did I just see that? So they see this Buddha and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, maybe I'm gonna see this Buddha at this guy's place who's doing Reiki on us. So we get there and he lets us in, and of course there's the Buddha. And it was another confirmation, like, welcome to level 2. You have Nicolas Caged your way.
You've opened this level.
Yeah, you have national treasured your way into this Reiki healing, and this is exactly what you're supposed to do, and good job following the clues.
Yeah.
So I let Annelise go first so that she didn't have time to sit there for an hour and think and question and analyze. And you can tell them about your first healing.
It was actually my first Reiki experience. I'd never had Reiki before. I didn't even really understand or was fully aware of what it was. It was a form of chi, that your energy, life force energy that's been around for generations. And when we sat in his space, he kind of explained it a little bit to me. He explained that his style is that, he would just touch, either hover or touch my body, whatever I felt comfortable with. That he would touch the areas that he felt needed, energy being sent there, or he felt energy there, or a blockage, or etc. He also, again, just asked what was my experience with it and what brought me there. I told him about Joe, and I told him, I think I'm really just on a journey right now to allow my analytical mind to sit back and allow the divine to lead me, and do my best to kind of let those two not battle each other anymore, but let the divine just guide me, and I'm doing my best to do that. And I explained it a little more I guess effortlessly, and he was just like, wow, you should work here, like we need more people like you here. But yeah, it's just like I'm doing my best to follow what God, the divine, has for me, and being open to that and allowing my analytical self to just sit back and observe. I get on the table, and he was just like, if at any point you feel uncomfortable, just let me know. He's like, you should feel really relaxed, and then I'm just gonna start. And I felt like as soon as he touched the top of my head here, and like underneath the bottom of my skull here, my brain, the back of my neck and skull here, he put his hands underneath there. It felt like just a release of all the tension in my shoulders, the tension in my, rib cage, like so much tension that we sometimes hold that we don't realize that we're holding. I kind of compared it in a sense to, I remember being very sick once and going to the hospital, and I was like, oh, I need some medicine, like it hurts. And, the nurse gave me morphine. And morphine, you feel it like icy through your veins, but then it's like this instant, just like, whoa, what is that? Like it just relaxes everything. There was no icy, it was just pure, just like a flow of relaxation throughout my body. The rest of it felt like a pure just massage without him really touching me. Like he touched like maybe the top of my thighs, he touched, the top of here. He touched like my head here. I can't really remember most of the areas he touched because I feel like I was in and out of sleep, but I did feel like I was floating, just comfortable and relaxed. And even after getting up, he's like, how do you feel? I was like, I feel so good. I feel like I got a massage. After the experience, and I did, we went home, I did another meditation, and I realized again that, because it was my root chakra, like I realized that I was only doing things that were making me comfortable, things that were protecting me, or what I felt like was protecting me, not allowing me to, go past what my comfort zone was, or past what my body felt was, don't go down there, that's danger. Don't make that turn, that's danger, when you don't even really know what it is. So I was doing short meditations, something real quick and easy, that versus Joe, we were doing 4-hour meditations and diving deep. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a quick little 30.
And I'm over there doing an hour and a half meditation. And she's like, oh, I got exactly what I needed for my 30-minute meditation.
I was like, I'm gonna just do a quick little 30. You know, I'm just gonna do it and be done with it. And she's like, oh, okay.
In my head, I'm like, I see you running.
Yeah. And it took me about 2 days to realize, because it started because I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and do the blessing of the energy center, which was an 1.5 hour meditation. So let me go ahead and do that. And, I started to do it, and it got to like 1, and then it got to 2. And at 1 and 2.
So 1 and 2 are your energy centers that Joe talks about if you've never done the meditation. And it's like your first chakra, your second chakra, your third chakra, and he goes through all of them.
Yeah.
Just so you know what she's talking about.
So I get to those, and my body is like shaking, like not like shaking just with like angst, like, are we gonna be done yet? Are we almost done? And then, feeling that energy go up. And when I got to 4, I was just crying and crying.
4 is your heart.
4 is your heart. And just crying and crying. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. And it's not a crying where you just stop to open my eyes and wipe my tears away. It's like, I'm in the middle of something. I'm somewhere else I'm present, but I'm not here to physically be like, oh, I'm crying, I'm so sad. It's like you're in an experience.
You're just deep in your meditation.
Exactly.
And these meditations, they bring your energy up. And as the energy moves up, it clears old past emotions that are blocked in your body. But she was avoiding it at first, after the retreat. It's like, oh, a little 30-minute meditation, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She goes to the healing.
Yeah.
It opened her up more. And after the healing, she's like, all right, let me do these longer meditations.
Yeah.
And then
let me go for a real experience.
Yeah. And then it's at her heart, and she's deep in it. And when you're deep in it, you're not like, oh, let me open my eyes and wipe my tears and then continue. You continue because you're moving
you're feeling
the energy up through your body, and you feel when it gets stuck and you're crying or your body's shaking because you're getting like just junk from your past.
And you feel it coming off, you feel it, you opening up, and it's almost like, I have to see where this goes. Like, I have to see what happens. I have to follow this through, like down this little rabbit hole or wherever you may be going. And it's a very intense experience. And, and so I did the blessing of that. And afterwards, like, these guys that we met through the Joe meditation,
the Joe retreat,
sorry, that they, we were kind of like in our own little group together, like, messaging each other and hang out a little. And I was just like, this is, sharing my experience with Salma, sharing my experience with them. And I'm not a sherry type of person. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was great. But I'm like, oh my God, I was crying. My first chakra is trying to open up. My heart is opening up. I love you guys. You should make sure that you go do this reiki. And it just felt like a part of me that I had been wearing like a coat. It's like, it's warm now. I can take this off and I can just enjoy and lay in the sun. It just felt so loving and so freeing and I literally know that's only the tip of the iceberg, the tip of, of that. So yeah, shit was real. So it was good.
So we followed, the synchronicities and the signs, and it allowed Annelise to have her first healing.
Yes.
And her first healing led her to being able to open up more and experience more in her meditations. It showed her.
And actually overflow into reality, because it showed me that you are covering yourself, you are blocking yourself, and the Reiki allowed that to be opened up, like allowed it to, blossom into that. And it's like, are you gonna close me back, or are you gonna continue to open me more? So what are you gonna do? Yeah, and it felt just like that.
And then she got to just experience what somebody as a healer could do for somebody else.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, we had just come from, a week-long meditation retreat. Like, we were feeling amazing. And then he was just,
another addition. Yeah.
Yeah, on top of that. And I was telling her that when I was younger and super depressed and going through something really hard, I went to my first reiki session, and that was the only thing that gave me relief, because when you're in this, like, we were in a great state already, and he still uplifted us, and we felt kind of like light as a feather and just happy, and like you just got a massage and just so good. Bliss. And then I told her, like, imagine being in a dark place, and then not where it's so dark that you don't feel like you can like crawl out or get yourself out. When you, in those times, what happens to everybody, where you just lose motivation and you feel like, you can't go on any longer, and how am I gonna get through this? And everything you're feeling is just so painful and sad, and it's like,
it's a shot of morphine.
It's a shot of love.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally not morphine.
Not morphine.
But it's a shot of love. So, Reiki pretty much is just like, I'm not a Reiki master or anything, but from what I get from it, it's like you're connecting to God, the divine, unconditional love. It's flowing through your hands, and you're filling the body that you're working on with that unconditional love, and giving them that boost and that connection. And so she kind of also got to see, like, what she can do as a healer, and how she can help people that are going
and how
through,
beautiful it can be.
Yeah, that are going through like hard times, or just how even people that aren't going through hard times, how it can help unlock certain parts of you and open you up. I mean, we were supposed to go because she was supposed to have that experience, and then for me as well, it was amazing for me. As soon as he touched me, I felt very, very relaxed. I kind of was in and out of sleep as well, and I felt, like there was no gravity holding me down anymore after the healing. I was just like feeling good and bouncy and grateful and happy.
Yeah, he even told us to take it slow after we went home. He's like, I wouldn't do anything too heavy after this. I would just go, relax and kind of see what unfolds. And, we went home and we were like all cuddly and like, oh, let's just sit and look outside, and let's just, be in each other's presence. And, it just felt so blissful. It felt really blissful.
Blissful and just like love, like you just feel so much love in your body. And I remember at the end of mine, he came back to my heart and he put his hand on me like this, and he even took my hand and put it there, and then put his other hand on top of mine, and just was like, his hand was shaking from the energy that he was sending me. So I felt this like shaky energy. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know what that was. And then it was 2 or 3 days later, I'm doing, my hour-and-a-half blessing of the energy centers meditation. I love that meditation. It's number 8, if anybody's curious about what it is. And you never know what you're gonna get during your meditation. Like, you literally never know. You can go in like, I don't feel like doing this, but I'm just gonna do it, or I don't think it's working. And then you just have this insane experience. So again, a random day, I'm doing the meditation like 3 days later, and I get to my heart, and I just had this profound healing. I saw this hand go in and take something out. And during Joe, I had, released something major, but I did sense that there was like one more thing in there that I needed to release. I kind of knew what it was, but I wasn't sure, but I knew what it was when it was released finally. And I went through a really hard breakup the year prior, and it was like I was still so attached to that person. And during this meditation, like, I just received a healing from the divine, and there was this hand that just went in and just picked up whatever it was that was in my heart that was still sad and mourning the loss and grieving and attached, and just filled it with light. I just felt so much better, and it helped me move forward and move on. So it was really amazing. Like, we both needed to be there. And that's what's cool. Like, when you're with somebody, it's like the universe brings you together, but it always wants you, the universe, the divine, God, it always has something for the both of you.
Yes.
It's never just for one person.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, oh, we gotta go do a reiki for Annelise, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I knew that it was for her, but it was also for me.
And initially, you know, during the Joe retreat meditations, you know, she would have these visions of, oh, we should go to Colombia, or oh, you know, we should go to Mexico City, or oh, you know, and at first I was like, I didn't get no vision. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's for me.
It wasn't a vision. It was a voice.
Yeah. So, you know, and you know, it was just like, well, that's not for me. But later on, like through my experiences as well, it was like, you are in this to experience something as well. You may not have had anything specific said to you, but you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to go because something is also meant for you as well. And I think it was me again with my hesitations that it wasn't something specific, because I think if it was something specific, I would have been like, no, I don't think that's right, or I don't think that's it. So it's just like, just go, you know, go, and we're gonna unravel what it's meant for you while you're there, what you're meant to experience while you're there. Because if we tell you before, you're gonna be hesitant, you're not gonna know, you're not gonna go, you're not gonna be all in. But if it's just, oh, it's an adventure, Annelise, I'm all with it.
And Joe talks about how when you're manifesting and you're connecting to the unified field, God, you know, creator, the divine, it brings in your manifestations in ways that you don't know. It comes from the unknown. It's gonna come to you in a way that you least expect it. So after Mexico City, I literally have never thought about going to Colombia before. Okay, this was like never on my radar. Never in a million years thought I was gonna be in Mexico City. Never in a million years thought I was going to Colombia, or that we were going to Colombia. So while we're at Joe on day
one.
Okay. Oh yeah. So day one. You sit at these tables. And they have groups of 5 at each table. So we sat together, and then these 3 boys that were in their 20s sat with us. And they were American boys, but they said they lived in Colombia. And we're like, oh, how cool! Like, that's random. You know, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
Yeah, we're like, great, cool. They're like, yeah, we're from Medellin, Colombia. That's where we live. And I'm like, oh, you know, cool. So in my mind movie, what I was manifesting was that I wanted to, you know, do YouTube and share experiences like this. You know, I'm new at it, and, you know, I'm like, hopefully I can be good at it and do something amazing with it. And so that was like one of my manifestations. And then another manifestation was, you know, abundance, of course, you know, being connected to the divine, but living in luxury. Like, there's no reason for me not to have what I want. Just because you're connected to the divine or spiritual doesn't mean that you need to live in lack. Like, the divine is unlimited, and you can have access to that and more. And more, yeah, as long as you're a loving, good person, you know, spreading your light, living your purpose, like, you deserve the world. That's what I believe.
Definitely living in your purpose as well.
Yeah, like, that's important. You know, why are you here on earth? Like, live your purpose. Find out what lights your heart up. In my mind movie, I also have this, like, you know, extra fabulous picture of myself where I think I look, you know, super pretty. And I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, this is, you know, I'm gonna be looking extra good. I'm gonna be getting fit. I'm gonna be abundant. I'm gonna be traveling. I pretty much put the life of my dreams in my movie. So we sit at this table with the Colombian boys, and one of the guys is like, oh, I do SEO. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I think I need that for YouTube, right? Yeah. And he's like, actually, yeah. So we ended up becoming friends with them. He gave me this like $600 program for free. He just shared it with me that teaches you, about YouTube and how it all works. So I was like, oh my God, crazy that I manifested that like pretty much on the first day.
Yeah.
And then on the third day, I'm in this meditation, I'm super deep in it. And my dad, my real dad died when I was 1.5. And like, he comes to me and my future self, I see my future self too, which I call Salma Llama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the meditating Buddha with the light around him, but I just call it her because I say that it's me.
Mm-hmm.
So I see my future self and they both tell me, go to Colombia, go get the things that bother you with your teeth fixed and whatever beauty stuff you want. And I just couldn't believe it. I literally go, really? And this was all telepathic communication. Like, it wasn't words. It was like we were going back and forth with feelings. And they were like, yeah, girl, like, go do your thing. And I was just like, I was shocked. I literally went to her and I'm like, Annelise, I'm supposed to go to Colombia. I can go get my teeth fixed. So pretty much with my teeth, it was just like, I thought my little canines, like my vampire teeth used to be longer, which you can see in my past videos. And I just didn't like how they looked on camera. So I just want to like fix some things up, but not destroy my teeth. Like, I didn't want to like shave my teeth down and get all veneers or anything like that. I wanted my teeth to still be healthy. And I literally have never thought of going to Colombia and doing anything. Like, that wasn't even in my reality.
Yeah, in your
so
reality.
When I heard this message, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have a second meditation a few days later, and now I know that I am connected to God at this point. It was during a 4-hour meditation. So I was like deep in it, meditating for hours. I connected to this, it just, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I was in complete blackness, like floating, and then it spoke to me. And when it spoke to me, it was telepathic, but I could see vibrations, like almost like as if when you throw a pebble into the water and it has those ripples that come out. And every time it spoke, those ripples would go through my body and I would feel waves of intense love, like drop every time it would speak to me. And it literally gave me a few messages about like 2 people that I knew. And then it told me, go to Medellin, Colombia. That's where you're supposed to go. There's something there for you. So then I get out of this meditation and again, I go to Annelise. I'm like, Annelise, we're not supposed to go anywhere in Colombia. We're going to Medellin, Colombia. And I was like,
at first we thought we were gonna go to Bogota, but no.
Yeah, so it gave us the location and then we're like, what are the odds? These boys are from there. And it was just crazy. So, I mean, you can tell them what happened after that.
Yeah, and they pretty much, as soon as we told them we were going there, we were like, yeah, we're gonna go to Medellin, we're gonna she got this vision. And he, one of the guys was like, well, I have a dentist that is out there and I know, we can tell you all the places where we stayed at. We can tell you all the best restaurants. We can tell you everything that you should be doing. We know of a personal assistant that you can get. We know of a housekeeper and a house cleaner that can come to your house and cook for you, personal chef, personal everything. And literally our similar manifestation is we're fucking we are goddesses that live in luxury. We do, we don't have to do anything. We are taken care of. We are catered to. We are, and again, not from any egotistical type of nature, and not to say we're not spreading love and all of that, but let us be fabulous. Yeah, we're just fabulous in that. It's like we are fabulous in our abundance, in our love, in our, and to the capacity of just wealth in every form. So, they were like, yeah, we're gonna hook you up. They told us the best places to go. We're on this group chat and they're like sending us all of these things. They connected us with a personal assistant, picked us up from the airport, took us to this place, took us to this great place. It was in, a prime area, had this huge, beautiful tree right in the middle of the most popular part of Medellin, you know, gave us all these great restaurants where we don't have to like, oh, is that one good? Is that what, like, no, these are the best restaurants that we've experienced in the past 2 years. We're gonna have someone come to your house and give you 3 massages for literally the price of 1 massage in California. We're gonna give you a house person who's gonna cook, clean, do all that for you.
Make laundry, make your bed.
Make your bed. She's gonna be sweet. We have someone that's gonna come and do your nails.
At your house.
At your house. We still have our nails. Like, you know, and just be genuinely.
We were
spoiled
by the universe.
Genuinely be every single person that we came in contact to was amazingly loving, sweet, caring, wanted to make sure we were okay. We went to go get her, you know, the dentist to get her teeth. And mind you, like, she's looking at the dentist and she was like, they only have so many stars. And I'm like, and she's like, they only have this many stars. Everybody else has so many more stars. I'm like, let's just go see.
Yeah, so
let's just go see.
I'm on Instagram looking at these people with like thousands of followers, and I'm like, you know, messaging them, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna take, you know, you're gonna get 10 or 20 veneers, and you know, we're gonna literally take your teeth out and put them back in. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, not all my teeth
we're gonna saw
that
you
bad.
down the sticks.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, not all my teeth. And they're like, oh, we only do, you know,
10 to 20 veneers.
10 to 20 veneers.
And it's like
you have to do it all.
36 teeth in your mouth. Like, what are they planning to do? That's everything. Yeah, so we went to the dentist that the guys recommended, and they were so patient. They were so kind. There were like 4 dentists in there overlooking her teeth, analyzing what she should get done, helping out to figure out what's the best remedy, you know, to take care of it. One didn't speak English. One was a translator. One was like, oh, they're like debating.
They literally had somebody come in for me that spoke English for my consultation, because that's how kind and
they were
caring
so sweet.
They were, trying to accommodate me.
Yeah.
Like in America, you just go to your dentist, you're just another patient.
Yeah.
They're like, this is thousands of dollars for this one tooth.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, see you, we'll pull your tooth out and peace out. You know, we don't care about you, pretty much. And if you can't afford this, then, you know, that sucks for you. So these people I literally had 4 people looking into my mouth. I was giggling at times, and, you know, I could just hear them discussing, and they'd literally go, don't get veneers. That is gonna destroy your teeth. You have beautiful, healthy teeth. You don't need your teeth, you know, shaven down and to do all that. They're like, we're gonna tell you what to do. You know, we can make them, you know, look straighter, and we can do like a little bit of whitening. We can shape them a little bit, and you're gonna get great results. But like, please don't get veneers. It's gonna make your teeth really sensitive. In 10 years, you know, you might have a tooth that like falls out because they were looking to invest in her in the long run, rather than like, oh, she's an American, let's take all of her money and peace out. Versus all those other people who had 5 stars, you know, they were like, let's take your money, versus, you know, these people are like, no, we're not gonna do that. We don't wanna do that to your teeth. You're gonna regret that 10 years down the road. We would rather you know, be taken care of than, you know, we get, and that's why I think they don't have as many stars, is because people go in there intentionally, this is what I want, and they're like, but that's not good for you, I'm not gonna give you that. And it's like, oh, well, they didn't give me what I wanted. I mean, I think they literally have like 4 stars. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they were, you know, the grimiest place, but it was just, you know, they weren't after your validation. They were after, we love teeth, we wanna help you, we wanna make sure you're, you know, in the best position to, you know, have longevity with what we're doing with you, rather than, oh, you want something sparkly? Here you go. Is it gonna rot out everything in your mouth? Yeah, sure, but that's what you wanted. So, you know, they took more care of you than only your request. So yeah, and this is what happens when the divine sends you to. You're protected. yeah, you're blessed, you're protected, everything works out in your favor, and you get it in an unknown, unexpected way. So yeah, these are my teeth. If you want to see.
And I got mine whitened just because I was like, I want attention too.
she needed some attention as well.
I was like, clean my teeth too.
She got her cleaning and her whitening as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got our teeth done, we got our nails done, we were pampered. We had a personal assistant because even less people speak English in Colombia. Yeah. So she was just helping with, booking everything, getting us drivers. She took care of everything. We didn't have to do anything. We were literally just like spoiled, luxurious. She's like, the car is gonna be
down there at this time. Car's gonna pick you up at this time. I'm like, I feel like a queen. Like, absolutely, we're living in our divine manifestation right now that we just want to be taken care of. We want to sit in the house. We want to go where we want to go leisurely without having to like spend our whole like existence trying to find a really good restaurant versus like, oh, this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna go get dressed. Like, everything was just laid out for us, and it was bliss. It was so nice.
Yeah, and all we did was relax, meditate, have everything done for us. It was just nice to, experience that.
Yeah.
And so on our plane ride to Colombia, actually, I was doing a meditation, and in our row there were 3 seats, and this girl was sitting next to me who, I didn't know. And I'm doing a meditation, and again, during my meditation, I hear, ask this girl about whatever beauty stuff you want. So I was like, in my head, I was like, what do I even want? And I'm like, did I just hear that correctly? Like, what am I supposed to say to this girl? So I was thinking about, like maybe getting, like, I don't even know. I just knew it was cheaper in Colombia. I was like, I got the green light from the divine to, beautify myself. And I was like, okay, I'm doing my teeth, and like, maybe I'll get like a facial or something, something. I've always looked into, for like the last year, there's these things called like PDO threads that people have been using, and I'm always kind of like, about my nose. So I know that they can do threads like at the tip of your nose to lift it a little bit and like make your nose look a little bit straighter. So, I mean, that was just something that I had been looking at in the past, but I wasn't even thinking about it. So I was like, okay, let me just listen to, what I heard.
Signs.
What I heard during the meditation. So I turned to the girl, and I could tell she's like had some things done, but I didn't want to be like, hey, who does all your plastic surgery or whatever you do? So I didn't want to offend her.
Right? And plastic surgery.
Yeah. So I go, I get my little translator out because I assumed she didn't even speak English. And I just write like, hey, I'm looking to get like a laser treatment for, smooth skin. Do you know anybody? And then she's like, oh, I speak English. And she had like a cute little accent. And she's like, what's your WhatsApp? And like literally sent me like some skin place and then like a straight up just like plastic surgeon. So I was like, okay, well, let me see what we have here. So while we were in Colombia, after a few days, I was like, looking at this guy's page, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not gonna get like any surgery or anything like that, but like I was like, maybe I should try the PDO thread thing in my nose. Like, I'm really scared to do it, but I'm here. I got the green light. Like, maybe I should just go for it and see. Just do it. So I had our personal assistant, call their office since I can't speak Spanish. And she calls. They don't have availability for, the week that I'm there. But they recommend somebody. And then, again, I get worried. I'm like, oh my God, they just recommended some random woman. Like, she doesn't have a lot of pictures, blah, blah, blah. And I was hesitant about it. But then she had like the availability that I needed exactly to the T. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I grew some balls. I went in for my appointment. And as I walked into her office, so I went to Egypt a few years back, so I have this like, little Egypt connection. And I have these like crystal pyramids that I got there. So as soon as I walk into her office, I see that she has crystal pyramids on her desk. So that was, confirmation number one that put me at ease.
Synchronicities.
Yes, it was a synchronicity that put me at ease. Like, okay, the universe, the divine is telling you she can be trusted, like you're supposed to be here. So, we discussed my nose. I have my personal assistant there, translating, so I know everything she's saying. She was really nice and sweet, so she numbed me, and then, we're doing the threads. It is freaking painful. I did not expect it to be that painful, but it was painful.
Thank God she had the assistant, because I would not have been able to support her in that type of pain.
Yeah, she stayed home, and I just went with the assistant when it was gonna be the other way around. Like, she was just gonna come with me.
Yeah, I was like, thank God I would not have been able to support you like you needed to be supported.
Yeah, because I told her, like, my eyes were tearing up, and like I could see like the blood coming out of my nose. And
I was like, I can't. I would have been in the hallway. Like, I can't, Salma, I can't.
Yeah. So it was good that she stayed home.
Yeah.
But she had to do 3 threads. She told me she does like between 2 and 4, depending on like how much of a lift you want. So she does number 1, and that was when I was like, oh my God, this is actually painful. And then, she gives me more numbing, more like anesthesia in this area with my nose. And then we go in for the second one. And even like as I'm doing it, like I literally felt, even though it was painful, my body's kind of like in shock a little bit, I still felt the support of the divine. Like I literally like heard like, we're with you, like, you got this. And she does the second one, and I'm like, oh my God. I was ready to like jump out of the chair because it was so painful. And then I looked directly in front of me, and she has a bookshelf, which I didn't notice prior because I was just like, oh my God, this is happening. And I see like the Buddha, like, my little Salma Llama, Buddha that I love. And then it was another confirmation, like, you're gonna be okay. You got this. It's painful, but you're gonna like it. So I was like, okay, number 3, I can do it. I can do it. So I did the third one, and I survived. And then after I got it done, she has to like wrap it up for 3 days because you have like a little hole, so you can't get, stuff on it because you don't want to get it. You don't want an infection. So I had to like, rock this little cast in Colombia.
She looked gorgeous.
I looked amazing. It's the Colombian special, I feel like it was normal to walk around like that.
She had her badge of honor.
Yes. So yeah, and then 3 days later, before my flight, she took my little like bandage off, and I really, really, really loved it. It's still healing.
Yeah.
But I really like it. My nose, it's like not even a huge difference. Like people don't, when they see me, people like even my best friends that know me, like they don't like, it's not something you notice right away. It's just like a little tweak. It's still very natural, and I ended up really liking the results. But yeah, this was just a crazy random manifestation. Mm-hmm. We thought we were gonna be on a beach somewhere in Tulum, relaxing. We ended up in Mexico City getting reiki healings, opening ourselves up, doing these hour-and-a-half meditations every day, going to Colombia, being spoiled, getting, our beauty treatments. I was just manifesting literally things that were in my mind movie. I manifested that SEO program, to help me with YouTube and to get better at it. I manifested my new teeth, my nose. She manifested money.
Yeah. And abundance, living in that abundance that we were in Colombia. Like, it just felt, like so effortless and abundant while we were there. It just felt like queen things, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
queen
felt
things every day.
So good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, we had an amazing experience. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, and even on my way home, so my flight got delayed in Miami because of a storm, and I had to, I ended up staying at my friend Stephanie's house, who lives there. My friend Stephanie is amazing at makeup. And in that picture, in my mind movie, it's like me, extra glam. I mean, I don't really have makeup on right now, but in this picture, I'm just extra glam. So it's so funny. I go to Stephanie's and she does my makeup and I learn, you know, a few more tips and tricks. And I was just like, wow, that was just like the closing of that picture and what I wanted to manifest. And it literally went down to me having to miss my flight and not being able to get a flight till the next day, and me calling Stephanie and her telling me, oh, my cousin's actually on his way to the airport right now to pick up my other cousin. Like, what are the odds? You know, everything was just so divine and flowing together. And I mean, yeah, it's been insane.
It really has. It really has. It's been such a unexpected blessing. Unexpectedly, like she said, we expected to be laying on a beach like we usually do. Lay on a beach, enjoy, have some drinks, go on a little hike, go on a little adventure. But it was like, no, we want you to dive deep. We want you to be somewhere that is unknown to you, but yet familiar, and, you know, learn in this, not out of our comfort zone, but just learn in a space where you would never put yourself. You know, I'm gonna put you in a space where you would never have put yourself, and you're gonna have the best time, and you're gonna realize that this is, you know, this was meant for you. This was completely meant for you. So, yeah.
And another thing that would come up too is that you start manifesting what you want and you have it. And then it's like so funny, it comes to you and you're like, oh, should I have that? Should I do it? Should I take it? And Joe talked about this. It's like, when your manifestation comes to you, accept it.
Yeah, stop questioning it.
So yeah, when I was in Colombia, I was like, okay, let me go to my tooth appointment. I want to do this. Let me, you know, do my little PDO nose thread. Like, I want to do this. I want to try it. Like, let's do it. You know, I had to step up and like be brave and do that. Just like she had to step up and be brave and go to her reiki healing that she was really, really nervous about.
Yeah. I was really nervous about it. I was like, you know, what are they gonna do? What's gonna happen? You know, I felt like such a sensation, like a nervous sensation that you get when you're walking into like somewhere where you have to present a presentation or you're asked to do something. Like I felt like I felt so responsible for something, and I was just like, I don't know what to do or how to even walk into this. But it ended up being exactly what I needed. And it opened the door for me to get another Reiki experience when I got home that was 10 times better than the first one, just because it was exactly what I needed. And I was too afraid to get it before, you know, I went on this experience, because I told her, I was like, I think I wasn't ready for you to see me. And, you know, but it was time. You know, and I didn't know that until I had experienced that one already. And this one just kind of blew my mind in so many ways. But yeah, and yeah, it was amazing. So all of it led up to where we are now. And it's like, you know, like I said, like she's continuously always on that path of which way do I go? How do I go? And, you know, now I'm opening up myself to that even more. And things just come into your path that you're like, yeah, I knew that. I was supposed to do that and I'm not doing it. So let me go ahead and follow this. This keeps coming up. So I know that, you know, I need to pay attention to this. I need to do this. It kind of all just tells you, and you just have to follow it. But following it and knowing that it's your divine purpose, that it's where you're supposed to be, you know? So yeah.
So where are we now? Ever since we left Joe, it's pretty much a month later.
Yeah.
Like exactly a month later. I think I've missed only 5 days of meditating. All the other days I've done an hour and a half of meditations. And I mean, since I got back home from the vacation, my life has been kind of like a little crazy and turbulent. Like, I'm good. Like normally if these things were to happen, I would be emotional and freaking out. But I think the biggest lesson for me that I learned through all of this and connecting to the divine is that, because I think I trusted in the past, but not even fully.
Mhm.
And now I feel like I 100% trust my intuition and trust the divine. And I have no doubt in my mind about it. And I know that I'm on the right path, and whatever is happening around me is just happening because it's gonna lead me exactly where I'm supposed to be. And Joe talks about this, that when you're doing the work and doing the meditations, the field, everything around you is rearranging itself so that it matches your energy. So things will fall apart and things might come to a climax and get a little crazy. So right now, even a few days right before we filmed this video, I was telling, my friend, like, yeah, my life has been like kind of crazy lately. And literally this little mini tornado forms in front of us. And we're just watching it and we're both like, what the heck is happening? Like, we've only seen this once before in our lifetime. And I was just like, this is literally my life. And I think it's a sign that it's showing me that I'm kind of like in the center of the storm, but my reality is shifting, and all this is happening because things are just shifting and moving around to match the new energy that I hold within me, and is becoming a vibrational match to where I am. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening next, but I'm excited to see, and I'm not really too bothered with what's going on in my life right now. And it's not even me, it's just people that are close to me that are, having these moments, and because they're close to me, it affects me a little bit, but I'm still like very almost grounded and emotionally like even, like I'm not triggered by it because I trust so much in the universe. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed us sharing. Please leave in the comments, what you want to hear about or what I should make my next video about. Don't forget to subscribe, and just know that I love you, we love you, and this was really fun for us.
Bye.
Bye.